I got two on me. That's okay. Debuff. Big debuff. Big debuff.
Okay.
Wow.
He's
Look at
flat.
that.
Nice. Finish. Good shit.
I got
He's rooted. Finish. Good shit. Okay. Debuff. Big debuff. Big debuff. Healer. On the healer.
Trying to get you. Trying to get you now. Trying to get you.
Stun.
I got
Big red. Kill. Nice. He's rooted. Finish. On you. Oh no, maybe like two. Nice vids, Jetty. Hi. Cool. Let's give this guy some love. What's going on, guys, girls, and all gamers? It's Jetty. So, as we continue our journey of PvP salt farming, I've had time to put a lot of thoughts together over a few topics that keep circling around with the people I play with. These topics seem to be intrinsically part of the New World PvP ecosystem, and instead of posting a 5-page essay on the forums with my thoughts, I'm more interested in, together with you guys, creating an open space of discussion for these topics. So this is the perfect opportunity for me to break away from uploading ganking videos and just start a brand new playlist of PvP chat. Simple. And what better way to start this playlist by talking about the infamous Skitzo. Now, we're going to do our best to describe it, share our thoughts on it, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about what I think and how it connects to the 1-day war cooldown that was recently mentioned. There's going to be a question for you guys at the end of the video. Also, this topic feels like a good start for this playlist because my build gets compared with Skitzo's all the time, and I disagree with that thought. First, just because I run low con is not the reason enough to be considered a Skitzo. And second, I don't think I play the way a Skitzo plays, but I'm gonna leave that topic for a later part on this playlist. Big disclaimer here, if you are one of those guys that has over 1,000 wars, you might know Skitzo's way better than I do, and this is just for your pure entertainment. If you're not one of those guys, then this might be very, very informative. Either way, I appreciate your feedback. Leave a comment, subscribe while you're in the process, and we're gonna see what we can pick up from this discussion for the future. So for now, I want to talk about the Skitzo class and my way of seeing it. From my perspective, to be called a Skitzo, you need to have the following criteria. First, you need to be able to close the gap between the player and an enemy. Second, you need to be somebody that can drop tons of damage in a short period of time. And third, while you're dealing damage, you also need to bring impairment to the enemy movements. You know, basically the enemy cannot move while you're doing all of these things. So it is this trifecta that defines the Skitzo class. In other words, for me, the Skitzo is like a one-shot. And so if we start from this point, we can see that a lot of weapons fill one or two of these three roles. Like the hammer, for example. If you use it right, you can stun and deliver big blows in one go. Or like, for example, the spear. You know, you can basically chain stun somebody nearly to death. Even the fire staff, right? Like, you don't really need to close a gap. You can just eliminate that option and bring tons of damage in one go. But yet somehow these weapons don't get the amount of hate and attention that a Skitzo does. They might not even be considered truly Skitzo weapons. And the reason, in my opinion, is when you have a weapon combination that needs to meet this three criteria, it's when, you know, we call that the one shot, the Skitzo. Like, you know, the famous sword and board blunderbuss, or the sword and hatchet, you know, both that were like recently nerfed. The truth is that these weapons were used without any skill a couple of weeks ago. You know, it was just a simple tactic. Run around brainless for 20-30 seconds waiting for cooldowns and then spamming all of your abilities to get a kill. There was no special skill required to this. And you know, it became very unfair for the receiving end. It nearly broke the wars. A lot of people were not enjoying the game. And there was really no counter to this. And so that's why the recent nerfs, I feel, were so necessary. As a matter of fact, since the patch, a lot of those so-called Skitzos are now gone, deleted, completely erased from the map. Legend says that a lot of them are still dormant, hiding in the halls of shame, awaiting for the next one-shot to be revealed. And this is just the nature of a PvP game. There's always going to be times when abilities and combos are like so overtuned that nobody can escape. But another side effect, however, is that after these nerfs were applied, it opened a chance for bench warmers like me to get slots in wars and a chance to, you know, show a good performance. Me especially, I mean, I had been working on my craft for so long, and right now I'm so happy and grateful to the companies that are giving me a chance to be part of the wars. You know, even if it's not a war for the big 3 cities, I'm very grateful. And I'm right now I'm having a chance to show myself and show the results of my hard work. And in reality, a lot of the so-called Skitzos that I am running with right now they're not really one-shots. They're just good players. You know, sometimes, you know, they have to build up their momentum in order to deliver that big blow. You know, they have to know how to play their weapons. It's not just running low con. You know, you have to understand what conditions need to be met, you know, to get that kill with your weapons and sometimes with your team. I like to think it this way. Alone, I'm not a Skitzo, but I see myself making part of a Skitzo group. Even better, a death squad, you know, where you work together with equally, or in my case, you know, way more skilled players to fill that role of the single one shot, you know, to a high value target like healers and mages. Sometimes in wars, you know, outside the clump fights, opposite Skitzo groups find each other, and in a matter of seconds, all hell breaks loose, and it's tons of fun. And this is public knowledge, you know. I'm not giving away any strats. You know, every war has Skitzos and death squads, and so this is what I think is important about the one-day war cooldown. I was given a chance in the death squad with the patch that killed the one-shot, and I believe that the one-day war cooldown is going to solve even more issues with wars. It might sound crazy and it can be hard to get adjusted in the beginning, but I think this should have been implemented a long time ago. It makes sense and it feels right. Anyways, you know, those are my thoughts about the Skitzo and the one-day war cooldown. And so I want to leave you guys with this discussion. You know, I want to leave you guys with a question. How do you guys define the Skitzo class? And which of the variables that you can control, like stats and perks, would you use to build a Skitzo? Also, is it possible to be a Skitzo with weapons of your choice other than having you know, the sword and board in the mix? And finally, you know, for the people that don't play the Skitzo, what's the best way to counter it? Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate your time. You guys are all great. Stay safe. Peace.